any given moment, we have two options: step forwards into growth or step back into safety. Dare to succeed and share a moment with us in the moment. Recording now. We're on.
My bad.
You're on.
Hey.
Here goes.
Hello and welcome to In the Moment podcast with me, Vicky Mills, and Alice Abbott. The podcast.
Hello.
Okay, let's start again. Okay. Hello and welcome to In the Moment. You fucking gaffed.
Sorry.
Okay.
My cheeks hurt.
Hello and welcome to In the Moment podcast, where we give you the tools to live your life to the fullest potential. I am Vicky and this is Alice, and we are going to have an unfiltered conversation. So we thought for the first podcast, we just sort of introduce ourselves, who we are, why we're doing this, and sort of around the podcast. So do you want to start, Alice?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Alice. I am an online physique enhancement. No, I'm going to edit that bit out. I don't like that. Right, so
do you want me to start again?
What did you say? I will trip over my own words. Nice. Yeah. Right, okay, so take two. So I'm Alice, and I'm an online physique enhancement coach. So I help people lose fat, gain muscle, build confidence inside and outside of the gym, and learn whilst achieving goals. How great does that sound?
I mean, I can absolutely be an advocate for your coaching because, you know, we've managed to pull a 40-ton truck and then did a photo. So we've done all right, really.
Yeah, I know. Star pupil.
It's a bit crazy. It's coming up to a year since we've worked together, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like when you signed up, you was like, oh, and by the way, I need to pull like a 40-ton truck in like X weeks. I was like, what?
Just throw it out. I mean, start as you mean to go on, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm Vicky. I have transformed my life in like the last 2 years now, just over 2 years. We've lost just over 10 stone. I've climbed Ben Nevis and a bungee jump. Just been a bit of a crazy ass girl, really. And I've studied psychology, so I've got a lot of in-depth knowledge around the mind and the unconscious mind, sort of how we all function, I guess, in human behaviour. And now I've just gone into mindset coaching, and that's sort of how we're working together a bit, isn't it?
Yes. And what's it called? What's the brand name?
Tamer. So Tamer was around the 5 pillars to what got me sort of where I'm at now. So I was like unlocking my trauma and growing my awareness, becoming mindful, and then you start to radiate it to other people. It's very bizarre. I never believed in it, but suddenly when you become like a new person, you radiate positivity, and then everybody else around you, like, you attract. It's all very bizarre. And then the last one is empower. You start to empower yourself, and the world's your oyster. And now we start recording a podcast. So
I know, it's amazing. I mean, when did we first speak about it?
Well, I obviously when I was in Turkey,
surgery, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think like the day after I'd had obviously the day after I'd had my skin removal, I think it was the second operation. I was laid in bed, and I honestly distinctly remember this. I was laid in bed looking out the window. So in Turkey, they're a very religious country. So the mosque would sing, not the mosque, but the mosque would play, or I don't even know if someone was there, if it was live or not, but they have like their prayer 5 times a day. And I was laid in bed listening to the prayer, and I was just thinking like, oh, do you know, it'd be really cool to record a podcast. But then in my head, I get a bit ahead of myself. So I was thinking maybe in 2024, I look at doing like a Tamer podcast. And then the next day you text and said, oh, you know how we could talk for hours? Like, how would you fancy doing a podcast? And I was like, no way, this is freaky.
Great minds think alike.
Very, very weird. That's what I mean. Like, the world just gets very voodoo. I'm not really sure how it works, but there we go.
I think everything happens for a reason, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
It's clearly our time.
we were talking about like the names and stuff, weren't we?
Oh yeah.
We came up with quite a few interesting ones.
Right. Let me see if they are here because I've got a few. I did have a few written down.
I quite liked chat shit, get banned.
Get backed. I thought you said
Banned.
banged.
No, banned. Like that was the point of the podcast. Oh, brilliant. Like you chat rubbish, you get banned off the podcast, not banged. Like you're not gonna have sex after this.
I thought chat shit, get banged.
Yeah, that's the saying, but the
Yeah,
band.
that's what I thought you said.
No, the band was like the twang on it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
dear.
right. Okay, I get that now. So, what was there was one that I spoke about, and you was like, oh, that's actually really good. The locker room.
The locker room.
The locker room.
I mean, you definitely get banged in a locker room.
Oh, God. That's terrible. The life hack hub, that was one. Leading the way. Dare to succeed. Now we had to get that in there somewhere, didn't we? So that's our like.
It's our little hashtag, dare to succeed.
I like
okay,
that.
so then we settled with in the moment.
Yes, we did.
What do you perceive that to be around? What is your in the moment inspiration? Yeah.
So, I mean, when me and Ross were out on a walk yesterday, I was trying to like describe it because he said that he struggles to be like in the moment. Because we were talking about his prep and his like first shows coming up, which are like less than 8 weeks away now. And I just said to him, I was like, from what I've learned, it's better to just enjoy the process, enjoy like each day and just live in the moment. Like it's so important because that moment you're never going to get that back. So just being in the moment is quite valuable, I think. And like for us, we did speak about potentially like planning our podcasts, but then just decided that wouldn't necessarily portray what we're wanting to portray. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I'm definitely about just showing up like every day. So when people say to me like how I achieve the things I have, I in my head, so right now obviously my end goal is bodybuilding. I have in my head what I'm going to look like on that stage. I have what colour bikini I'm going to wear. I like live in that minute, that moment. I have no idea how we're going to get to that point, but I have that to focus on, and then I just live each day as showing up as that person.
Yeah.
Like and that's all I have really. And I think for me, like when we say in the moment, we're talking about the present moment.
Yes.
And I guess when you go down sort of the philosophical part of life, that many of us live in either the past in our depression, or we're living in the worry of the future, and that's our anxiety.
Yeah.
That we forget about the only time we have is now.
Yeah. I agree.
And I just sort of, for me, the conversations that we want to have, I just want to have like an unfiltered, authentic conversation around topics that have helped us, or controversial things, because I just think there's so many things that need speaking about that people don't. And one thing I pride myself on is my honesty. So
yes. I can vouch for that.
Yeah,
it's good. I think that's why we do work well together. Like I would quite like to think that I'm quite open and honest as well about things. So yeah, no, I think it's a good trait to have.
I've definitely learned over the years. So I definitely used to be more bluntly honest, and I probably still am on occasions with certain people. So I'm very good at reading dynamics now and reading situations, but a lot of the time I can be quite like passive around it or diplomatic. So certainly in like professional situations, when something's gone wrong and something needs saying, I can diplomatically put it in there without causing a ruckus. So you have a good attribute of mine. So we've recovered who we are. What sort of things do you want to cover on the podcast then?
So I think like we talk about in the moment and like being kind of like everything's off the cuff, and it's like discussing things and airing things that don't necessarily get speaking about very often. So I think it's more so like us showing people that we are human. We do experience the things and the feelings and the emotions that everybody else is feeling, and how like we've managed to, what's the word, deal, I don't know, what's the word, what kind of word would you use for that? Do you know like what
I guess what we have is resilience. What you've built up over time is the resilience for life, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've learned how to manage and develop coping strategies to to face sort of adversity and difficulties.
Yeah, and I think it's just us talking about various subjects to get that across, so people can listen and think, oh, well, I actually feel like that. And then once they hear what coping strategies we've used, they can then implement them in their lives, I think.
Yeah, and I definitely echo that human thing, because I had the other day a lady messaged me off, I think she was off TikTok, and she messaged me on Instagram and said, oh, can like you give me any advice or help? And I was like, oh yeah, like I'll jump on a Zoom call with you and we'll have like a chat. And then she was like, really, like you wouldn't mind? And I'm thinking, well, why would I? Like I don't know what people's perception of who I am is, but I'm not some like big shot that wouldn't help somebody else.
Oh no, absolutely. And I think that's why, like, with our socials and the sort of person it may portray sometimes, you know, people are gonna hopefully watch this and realize that we are just like normal people, and it's in our best interest to help people and like take the time out of our day to reply to messages and, you know, jump on calls with people that are struggling.
Well, I mean, what sort of person would, like, this is how I view it, what sort of person would I be if I didn't? Because I have been £400, I've been depressed, you know what I mean? I've like gambled, I've drank heavily, I've done all them things. So why would I cast judgment? And essentially the reason that people won't reach out is the fear of judgment. Like, why would I have cast judgment? So I just think I know what it's like to be in them positions, and I absolutely wouldn't want that for somebody else.
Yeah, I think like we've been there, we've done it, so you know, we're probably the best people to go to for advice, and they're the people, like, we're the people that you're going to get probably the most relatable advice from as well. So I think you can relate that to like people that are seriously wanting to like lose weight and stuff. I think if you go to, I don't know, if you go to somebody on Instagram that's pretty much looked the same their whole life, it's probably not the best person to go to.
Yeah, they haven't necessarily faced the difficulties that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is my biggest pet hate is when people are like, well, just move more and eat less. Well, do you know, if it was that simple, Doris, everybody would do it, wouldn't they?
Agreed.
Of course, there's more to it than that. So yeah, definitely, I completely agree. I know, like, we were talking about how often we want to do this. I think we're going to do like a weekly one.
I think be pretty good.
I know you said like sometimes you'll do one and I'll do one, but I think we're way off down the line for that. We need to sort of get our confidence up a bit with this.
But yeah, hopefully, you know, it's a start, isn't it, this one? Start of many.
But and I definitely want to cover somewhere along a podcast. I would love to do one around my journey and my story. Like, there's loads of questions that get asked really frequently, but obviously people must want to know the answer to. So hopefully it'll be like a point of direction. And similar for you, that you went from different fitness things, didn't you, through your life, and now onto bodybuilding. So
yeah, I think what we could maybe do is, for like, I don't know, the week lead up to the next podcast or the whatever podcast that we're going to do, is get people to ask us questions, and then we can answer them on a podcast.
I would love nothing more than an interactive podcast with an audience. So if people fire in their questions, we can answer them, or even just like their fitness dilemmas. Like, some people feel like they go to the gym all the time and they can't understand what the barrier is between their goals. You know, I'm working with someone in my job that goes to the gym all the time. She eats relatively well, but she just keeps facing like the barrier of not losing weight, and she can't understand why. And I bet there's loads of people in that similar situation. So them sort of scenarios, and you know, I mean, I like to think I'm an agony aunt, so any problems in life.
Well, you're my agony aunt, so like I come to you with, you know, just day-to-day issues, and then like if you're struggling with, like, I don't know, food or whatever, you know, you just come to me. So it's like we bounce that off each other, which is great. But yeah, like just going back to what you were saying about this, did you say it was your client? Is she a client? Yeah. So just the smallest thing of her not being in a deficit is going to mean that, you know, she's not losing weight. But then there's losing weight and there's losing body fat. Like, that's two different stories.
And obviously, like, the scales don't always reflect where you're at. So if she's training heavy in the gym and building muscle, the scales aren't necessarily going to reflect the body fat loss. So
no, exactly. And I think if she is somebody that doesn't actually know what her like maintenance is, she's not going to know whether she's in like a deficit, or she might even actually be overeating. But then when it comes to training, like, you would need to look at a training program and think, is this training program suitable to her and her training experience and her goals? Because essentially, if her training program is programmed wrong, it's, you know, it's quite possible she's going to build up a lot of fatigue. It's, you know, it's going to cause inflammation, and that's going to appear on the scales.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I know the scale shouldn't always just be like the point of measurement, should it?
No,
like
no. Oh my god.
We do all sorts, not just to be, and it's so hard, and that's what I mean. Like, there's so many trials and tribulations and tricky things that we have to work through and navigate. And for me, that's what I would want from the podcast, is to give people the ability and sort of safe space to live in the moment, to be in this moment with us, and share experiences, share our experiences, and talk about loads of topics that, especially all over social media, that either just need stomping out or working.
Like the word or the phrase toning. I just want to tone up. Oh, I just want to tone my bum.
I just want to tone up. What's your beef?
I can't. It's actually like incorrect. There is, like, it's actually impossible to tone. Like, it's impossible. I'm just not gonna. I'm not.
That is definitely a really good. Do you know what? I feel like that could be one of our first ones, and I'm just gonna like jibe you all the way through it just to rile you up.
I just can't deal with it. It just, it literally gives me the shits. I can't. Oh I can't.
It actually hurts to laugh. Like, my belly hurts.
Does it?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's like a completely different topic that we can cover. I think what would be a good topic is the myths surrounding weight loss and everything like that. I think that would be a really good one. I think that would be really juicy.
Well, there's definitely a perceived thing in coaching, isn't there, that you're just like going to wave a magic wand and suddenly like you're going to reach your goal, but that's not what coaching's around. So yeah, definitely those topics, and I would absolutely love people to throw in their life dilemmas.
I think that would be good at some point.
And then we're going to release them, so it'll be every week. On what day?
I don't know. Have we decided a day yet?
So it'll be released every Monday.
Every Monday, guys. You're hearing that?
Maybe just chop and edit that bit so it's succinct.
It's fine. But yeah, no, every Monday midday.
Well, so Adam advised me, this is just
okay.
Adam advised me that you upload it on a Sunday, ready for a Monday release. That's what he said. So just for listening on a Monday, I guess it'll pop out.
Yeah, sounds good.
So first thing on a Monday, we'll release the podcast.
In the moment.
Start your week off with Vikki and Al.
What was it? Oh no, what was the other name we were going to use?
A few moments later.
think we froze.
As well.
Technical glitch.
Oh, did you hear me?
I can hear you now, but it was like frozen for like a whole minute, and I was like,
oh, so I was saying, you said about Little Big.
Yeah.
And then I said, so I don't know if anyone's been on the social media and seen the picture from you at the Arnolds, where we've got a picture together, and I will
ping it in. I will ping it in up here somewhere so you can see it.
And you are tiny, and it is like little and large. Like you're leanest, and I'm just there.
I'm 4'11". I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm 5'11", a whole foot bigger.
I am tiny. I do tell people I'm 5 foot though, just cause.
Little inch makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
How tall is Ross?
6 foot.
Yeah, he's quite tall, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's the same laying down. Brilliant. Okay, so on that note.
What?
On that note.
Well, I was going to ask you how your week's been.
This week has been really manic. I think it's been the first week that I felt better. So we're like 3.5 weeks post surgery now. Having like excess skin removed. I've been
we'll put in a transformation picture either down here or up here so you can see it.
I've been really lethargic, but this week I've started to feel a bit better. It's definitely caught up with me now. We're recording this on Friday. I am ready for bed, and today is the day that I don't have to wear I say that I'm just waiting back for the surgeon, but I shouldn't have to wear the corset or binder thing that you have to like wear after tummy tuck. However, literally since we started this conversation, I have swollen massively around my middle.
Have you?
Yeah, so I can feel it like now. After the call, I'll show you. But I was like touching it and I was like, oh, I'm all wobbly.
Yeah, just on one side though.
I've gone back to like rock hard everywhere. Like I feel like I'm bloated now, and obviously I've not eaten or anything.
No, that's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy. Yeah.
How is it feeling like? Because obviously with like I know because I occasionally wear a corset, but like it really restricts you. But then when you take it off, it's just like
it's like taking your bra off at the end of the day, isn't it? When you're just like, oh, I'm free.
Well, I very rarely wear a bra, so
I've had to I've had like Spanx on, if you like a full body suit. Spanx, yeah. So from above my knee right up to like under my boobs.
Like a wetsuit.
Huh?
Like a wetsuit.
Well, it's not a wetsuit. Spanx is like fat pants. I mean, you probably would never know, but like Spanx like that stretchy material that you put under your dresses to make you look like you've got a more of a curly.
Like is it like bodycon? Do you like bodycon dresses that are like super, super tight?
Well, yeah, but it's made out of a different material. So it's made out of like this elastic stuff that just like ping you together. So it pushes you in. So I've had one of them on, and then I have to wear like an actual corset over the top of that.
Fucking hell.
So yeah, that's been like 3 weeks, day and night. I'm not allowed to take it off. Obviously I take it off to wash it. I have to. Not mine.
Well, when you need to go to the toilet.
So well, the one they gave me in hospital, honest to God, like this might be TMI, so let's just but they tell you obviously when you have anesthetic, sometimes people struggle to go to the toilet after. Now I back my body because I was eating like nutritious stuff after, and then they came in like the day after the second surgery and said like I need to take the laxative, and I was like, I am not taking laxatives. Like they had just put that Spanx thing on me, and it's got like a hole it has like a hole from the front to the back, so it's like open bum.
Like a flap.
No, it's just like open, so it attaches like
crotchless.
Yeah, like crotchless, but like really crotchless. Like big crotchless. So then he said like have the laxative. Well, I was just like I didn't want laxative anyway. I've never had one in my life. All I had in my head is I'm wearing this Spanx thing.
Your arse is going to explode.
And it's going to be like everywhere, and I've just not came for it in my life. And poor Chantel did not need that. So I didn't take it.
Thank God.
We were having to use like Google Translate to tell the nurse, and she was like, the doctor, and I was like, me and the doctor will fall out. I am not taking that. As it was, like, my body was fine anyway. I was right to back it. But the first time I went to the toilet, Chantel had to come behind me. No. And I said to her, like, Chantel, like, before I sit on the toilet, is this actually going to be okay? I'm not going to do my business on this, am I? And she was like, no, I don't think so. Like, oh, girl.
Did you shut yourself?
I didn't poo myself, but what I did do was you wear your knickers over the top of it. So then I came home, like back to the UK, went to the toilet because you can't feel anything. Like, I'm numb and I'm wearing all these layers. I sat on the toilet thinking I pulled my trousers and knickers down, but I'd left my knickers on. So I just literally weaved straight through my knickers. Sat on the toilet. I was like, brilliant.
This is my life now.
Yeah, that's what I said to Mum. I was like, you've got to be joking me. Like, what is wrong with me?
That's mad.
I ordered some new Spanx because they only give you one in Turkey. So I ordered like a different pair to swap them out. And it said crotchless. But what it actually was, like, you couldn't do like number 2s in it. There was that was off limits.
So it wasn't arseless then.
Had like a flap thing. So when I was going to the toilet, I had to like pull the flap over to have a wee, but like it just made your aim go all funny.
No. So you're like spraying everywhere.
It was just not okay. And then I said to Mum, I was like, you're gonna have to do something about this. So she like cut them and sewed them back up. Like, Mum's clever like that. But she cut the front thinking it was the back.
Oh no.
So then I had like it all missing up the front, and I was just like, well, this is no good anymore. It's not keeping anything in.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, crazy times.
Wow.
There we go. So if anyone enjoys these topics of conversation, that's more what it's going to be like.
Hashtag unfiltered. I feel like the title of this should be, was it like crotchless and laxatives or something like that?
How to survive.
I mean, if that's not clickbait, then I don't know what is.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you have enjoyed listening to us talk about rude, dirty things, then give us a like, share and follow. Alice will put our Instagram handles in the show notes. I'm about to say it. Have a great week. Thanks for listening to this week's Tribulations of Vicky's life.
All things crotchless.
If you are looking forward to having more conversations unfiltered with Alice and I, please give us a like, share and follow. We both have Instagram and TikTok, which Alice will put in the show notes. And if you're listening on Spotify and you want to watch how weird we are, be available on YouTube in the show notes too. Thanks for listening.
Cool. Have a nice week. Bye, guys.